Hello, and welcome back to Genshin Impact. Today, I am finally gonna activate my Nilou's Constellations that I wrote for a few days ago. Yeah, if you've seen that video, I actually got up to C4 Nilou, which is really awesome, and I can't wait to try out these constellations. So yeah, without further ado, let's go. Okay, I kinda wanna do this in like 3 steps, and step 1 is I'm just gonna show you my build. My C1 Nilou, that's how she's been ever since her first banner, ever since she was released. Yeah, and just gonna show what she can do at C1 again, so that we have a comparison later to the higher constellations. Then step 2 is gonna be activating her C2 and compare her bloom damage with the decreased resistance to the bloom damage at C1. And then I'm gonna activate these 2 constellations, which are gonna increase her burst damage and see how much damage she can actually do with her burst after she has her C4. So yeah, that's the plan. So let's take a look at the build real quick. So as you can see, my Nilou has 56,000 HP. Actually, it's only 52 normally, but she's currently in a team with another Hydro character, so there's Hydro Resonance, that's why it's 56 now. But you have her in a Hydro Resonance team most of the time anyway, so I guess it's fine. But yeah, normally it would be 52k, just so you know. Then her attack is over 2000, which doesn't really matter. Yeah, most of her stuff scares of HP anyway. Only the normal attacks don't, but you don't really use them. And yeah, over 250 Elemental Mastery. I'm using kind of a hybrid build where I can use her as a DPS, but I can also slot her in bloom teams. That's why she actually has pretty high crit rate and crit damage. And I can't wait to someday get C6, because then she's gonna have 100% crit rate and over 200% crit damage. She's gonna be so insane. But yeah, that's why I have some crit stats here, because I like using her as a DPS, not just as a bloom bot. It's also why I gave her the Jade Cutter instead of the Key of Kachni suit, which I actually have here. But yeah, I like this weapon on my Shinobu. I want my Shinobu to keep it. So yeah, Nilou gets Jade Cutter. Rank 2, pretty nice. That's also why she has over 2000 attack, because of this here. Yeah, artifacts, pretty standard. 2-piece EM set, 2-piece tenacity. So I guess now in this new update there, I could also go 2-piece HP percentage on both sets because of the new set. But yeah, that's I'm gonna keep her as she is for now, because I don't want to farm the new domain. But yeah, let's take a look real quick at these artifacts. Yeah, mainly just went for crit rate, crit damage, HP. As you can see, some elemental mastery too. Went HP percent main stat on Sands and Goblet. And a crit damage circlet. And last but not least, her talents are at 9, 10, and 9. Now the rest of the team is just pretty standard builds. I could show them real quick, I guess. But yeah, Kokomi is just basically standard Ocean Hued Clam with Prototype Amber. Traveler, just a lot of energy recharge with the Favonius Sword, and yeah, 4-piece Deepwood for the Dendro Shred. And Collei, I think my Collei is like the only one here who's a bit unusual, because I went for like a DPS build with like 2-piece Shimenawa, 2-piece Deepwood, and yeah, this Battle Pass weapon. But I've also tried a Instructor Collei lately, because that's a really good support build for like Nilou Bloom. But yeah, I don't have great instructor pieces, so most of the time I keep Collei in her DPS build. I like Collei DPS. Oh, and I should probably show the constellations too. Collei is C6, Luminous C6, and Kokomi is C0. Okay, so that's my Bloom team. Now we just gotta find a boss that we can try it out on. And our volunteer for today is the Perpetual Mechanical Array. So yeah, I'm just gonna do one rotation and see how much damage it does, and then I'm gonna activate the constellation and compare. Seeing some pretty good blooms in there. Some 20Ks. Okay, so that's one rotation, and we basically got him down to like, yeah, a quarter, a third. It's somewhere in between a quarter and a third, I think, of its HP. Okay, now it's time to activate the constellation and try again. Oh, I'm really excited for this. how much damage the bloom's gonna do. Here we go. B2 activated. Let's go. I'm seeing some 23k blooms in there. Not bad. Oh, it's going in. Oh, okay, I see. That's just the HP where it goes into that phase. Oh, I thought you can defeat it before it goes into the phase. That was kind of the plan for C2. That's what I wanted to do, but it turns out that's just the minimum HP it can reach before it goes into this stupid phase. Huh. So this test is kind of a fail, because that's the same amount of HP it had left on the other one. It's just, I can't go lower than this. Because the damage just stopped as soon as it got to this point. But I think I got there a lot faster. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put the clips next to each other with a timer on each and see which one was faster to get to that HP threshold where it goes into its second phase. So yeah, C2 obviously should be faster, but the question is, how much faster was it? Okay, so you've seen the results now. I don't know until I edit this video, but there's one more thing we have to do. Now we've seen the bloom damage, but what I'm really here for is to see how much damage her burst is gonna do after I activate the next two constellations. Because, like I already said, I really love playing Nilou as a DPS, and her burst can do a lot of damage, especially if you wait both hits, which is actually easier than a lot of people think. But yeah, before we actually take a look at C4 Nilou's burst damage, I'm gonna first do a showcase without the C3 and C4, so that we have a comparison again between before and after. Okay, so for this burst showcase, as you can see, I have replaced Lumine and Collet with Sucrose and Xiangling. And yeah, I'm gonna try to wave the burst with the help of Xiangling, and maybe if I can, I'll try to get some swirls in there too. Try to swirl the Hydro with Sucrose. And yeah, I've also changed the boss that I'm trying this on, because I want a boss for this that doesn't move around much. And yeah, the perpetual mechanical array moves around a lot, but this one stays still mostly. First, I need to put Hydro on it. Then swirl the Hydro. Then I put Goba down and basically just burst. That was 86k and 106k, if I saw that right. Okay, so that almost 200k without even the constellations. That's how much damage Nilou's burst can do. Like, it's such an underestimated part of her kit. If you build DPS Nilou, then her burst is actually really fucking good. Okay, so now I just have to basically do the same thing again, but after activating the constellations. So yeah, here we go. It's finally time. C3 and C4, which increases her burst damage by 50 seconds after she uses her skill. But I have to fit the skill in the rotation somewhere, right? Kinda forgot about that. But one more thing, before I start this, I'm gonna crown her burst. Now that I have the C4, I feel like it's time. I got all the materials, so let's do this. Level 13 burst. It's gonna do a lot of damage. Maybe I should use Xiangling's burst to make sure that it wipes, because Goba and then this Nilou's skill, I don't know if I can apply enough pyro. So maybe it's safer to just use the burst too. I mean, in the normal rotation I would use a burst anyway. So yeah, let's try this. Okay, first by Hydro again. Use Sucrose, then Xiangling. Then we do the skill. And burst. 135? Ah, the second hit didn't crit. Come on. But that was already a lot more damage than on the previous try. For the first hit at least. Okay, let's try this again. the Hydro on him. That was only 108, that was less than before. And then 132, okay. So at least we got like over 230k in total. But yeah, the first hit was less than in the previous attempt. That's weird. I did everything the same, right? Maybe I didn't swirl it properly? Oh, I know why. I forgot to use Nilou's skill. Right, I have to do that. Even without the skill, it was a lot of damage. Okay, here we go again. Third time's the charm. $163 and 199. Oh, and that is over 360,000 damage. With such little setup. That was amazing. Like, holy shit. Her burst is doing so much damage. Like, we did a lot of damage before, but now we are almost at 400,000. And the only setup you need is basically just jungling and some unit for swirls. And that's it. Minimal effort for a lot of damage. So now there's one last thing I want to try, and that's the first part of C4 actually, because the burst damage is just one part, but before that it says that she will also gain 15 energy after finishing the third dance step, so the third part of her skill. And her skill has basically two modes, the whirling step or what it's called, and the sword dance. And sword dance, if you activate that mode, you can just do it again and again and again. And I don't think that the Constellation works the way that if you do the sword dance, it gives you 15 energy every time you finish the sword dance, because that would be kind of overpowered. But I just want to try it anyway, so let's see. If I do this, and then do the sword dance. Okay, did that actually give me energy? I didn't see any energy being added. Oh, is it only the whirling steps? Is it only the other mode? Does the sword dance not do anything at all? Let's see. Or is it just in combat? Oh, that might be it. Okay, well then let's go back in and test this. Okay, here we go. If I do the skill now, do I get energy? Yeah, now I get it. Oh, it's actually a lot of energy. But I don't get it on consecutive sword stance casts, only the first one. Okay. Well, good to know. So, in conclusion, C4 Nilou, pretty fucking amazing. I'm really happy that I got the Constellation, and I also can't wait to someday get the C6 on one of her future banners, which is gonna make her even more cracked as a DPS. Because again, I just love DPS Nilou, she's so good, and you've seen what her burst can do. That's just her burst, her skill also does a lot of damage. Like, she's so underestimated as a DPS. I mean, obviously, she is better in Bloom teams than, you know, as a Wave DPS or something like that, but still doesn't mean that she's a bad DPS. Bloom is just so overpowered that she seems weak as a DPS, but in reality, she is anything but weak. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this showcase. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, have a nice day.